Okay, you next. If your brother don't, listen, is your brother good?
Oh, come on, Bill. Don't do that. Don't
Is
do
he
that.
good?
He keeps talking about other people.
Don't do that.
Talking about other people for you on that. You on that ocean beach.
Okay. Okay, let me ask you this though. Let me ask you this. Okay, let me ask you this though. Hold on, watch this, Keith. Wait a minute. Hey, listen. So if you don't fight Devin Haney next, who you fighting?
If I don't fight Devin next, you want to fight him?
Nigga, I just asked the same question to you.
Don't say it. Don't say it. That's what you just said. I'm fighting for the belt that y'all gonna vacate, nigga.
Yeah.
What's going on YouTube gang? Witty P dropping in. We're gonna talk some boxing. Yes, we had Keyshawn Davis earlier this year calling out Devin Haney, you know, and we had Bill Haney a few weeks ago. He was on Cigar Talk. He said, "Hey, we can't get your brother Shakur. We coming for you, Keyshawn. We coming for you." And Keyshawn Davis, who has become Devin Haney's mandatory, this fight has now gone to purse bid. Yes. And I would like to see this fight, you know, even though Keyshawn Davis could probably use a fight or two, you know, of like a veteran, you know, a guy in the top 10, maybe, you know, but in boxing sometimes it's now or never. You know, it's now or never, and you got to take the opportunity when it comes or when it may arise. So I wouldn't mind seeing this fight. And Devin Haney, we had him trying to get the Shakur Stevenson fight, you know, so that'll be a great fight if it was to happen this year, you know, but fight go to purse bid. And got an article from boxingnews.com. Some of the more important notes from the article as I was looking through it. Haney's, start with Devin Haney. How they talk about Devin Haney. They say Haney's options branch in multiple directions from here. He holds the WBO welterweight title and has been in discussions with both Stevenson and Davis and the Davis mandatory simultaneously. The purse bid creates a formal deadline that forces at least one of these conversations to a resolution, even if the resolution is vacating the belt and walking away from the mandatory obligation entirely. Davis has positioned himself as one of welterweight's most compelling young fighters, a power puncher with elite amateur credentials and the Mayweather promotional backing that has historically produced well-managed career paths. A world title shot against Haney would be the biggest opportunity of his professional career. The 75-25 split against a fighter of Haney's stature is the cost of getting it. Like I said, yeah, you gotta put that money aside when you going for greatness and going for legacy. That money will come on the back end. Yeah, so if I'm Keyshawn Davis, I ain't worried about no 25% split. I'm worried about, you know, getting this shot against Devin Haney. You know, I don't even give a fuck if it was 85-15. Long as we getting paid, this and that, and I'm confident I know I'm gonna win. Give a fuck what the split is. You know, because I know after this, you know, I'm gonna be calling the shots. You know, I'm gonna be the one, you know, in position of power, as they say. You know, so if I'm Keyshawn Davis, you know, I'm not tripping about no split. And if I'm Devin Haney, do I drop the title and try to get the Shakur fight, or do I handle the mandatory? You know, I don't know if Devin Haney would get too much. He would get credit for beating Keyshawn Davis, but not as much credit he would get if he was to beat Shakur Stevenson, who ranks in the top 5 pound for pound and who's, you know, had some good outings his last few fights. You know, with Williams Zepeda and Teofimo Lopez basically losing, only like you can count on one hand how many rounds he lost in those two fights combined. You know, Williams Zepeda and Teofimo Lopez. You could say he, you know, shut out Teofimo Lopez, and Williams Zepeda only probably got about 2 or 3 rounds. So like I said, you count on one hand how many rounds Shakur has lost in his last 2 fights, whether he's boring or not. And I've been one to go in on Shakur Stevenson. Yes, he's a great fighter, but I would never pay for his fights. I would never pay for his fights. I can't. I won't. Yeah, great fighter, but he don't close the show. Either you close the show or you got to get me up off my feet. Yeah, he's a great boxer. Clap it up for Shakur, great boxer. But when you paying for pay-per-view, you paying to see pain. You paying to see, you know, some damage being done. You know, for some excitement. You know, and you know, Shakur Stevenson, great fighter, hell of a fighter. You know, but nah. There's guys, see, what you got to realize, boxing is always, or sports period, is always entertainment. That's the main thing. It's entertainment. So you'll have guys that may not be undefeated, but they going for knockouts. They have a lot of knockouts on their resume, on their record. You'll pay for that fight because at some point somebody's getting knocked out. Rather than the guy that he may be the best boxer, undefeated, best boxer, this that, but you're just paying to see a technician. With nothing wrong with that, but you want to get it all. Pause when you paying your hard-earned money for pay-per-view. You don't want to know what the fuck gonna happen. Shakur Stevenson fights, you pretty much know what's gonna happen. He's pretty much gonna keep the distance, outbox the guy for 8, 9 out of the 12 rounds, and he's never gonna step foot on the gas, because Teofimo Lopez fight was a perfect fight where you'd be like, okay, see a finisher, see a killer, because Teofimo Lopez was all bladed up, barely could see, and you never took it into fifth gear and got a knockdown or a stoppage, something for us to remember and take from the fight, But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Like Bill Haney said, hey, we can't get your brother Shakur, you next, Keyshawn. So I'm cool with either fight, whether it be Devin Haney versus Keyshawn, whether it be Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson. I want to see it. I want to see it. And respect for Keyshawn Davis, not trying to protect that old man. You got to go. You got to go for greatness. You do. So see how it plays out. The fight has now gone to purse bid. Yes. And we'll see how it play out and see who lands the fight. See who lands the fight, because I'll be covering the fight. Give you a preview. Whoever's gonna be, matching up, whether it be Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney or Devin Haney and Keyshawn Davis. So we want to see it. And another thing, I'm tired of this little brother shit, Keyshawn Davis, Shakur Stevenson, shit like that. At the end of the day, y'all calling y'all brothers and shit like that, but look like Shakur Stevenson taking food off Keyshawn Davis' plate, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? Because that could be a big fight. Shakur Stevenson could be a big fight for you down the line for the money side, you know what I mean? And I actually think you would do very well against Shakur Stevenson with your athleticism, your power, you got pop. So especially if you keep getting better. So if you ain't the Charlo brothers, you ain't the Klitschko brothers, man, it's on the flow, man. We fight. You know what I'm saying? We fight. So that's how I feel about it. But yeah, if fights go to purse bid, I keep y'all updated on it. Box it, but comment, like, subscribe, so we can help us always share the video, entertaining, hit that cash up, baby. So knock another one out.